Hey y'all, welcome back to another ballistics gel test. Today I've got some Underwood ammo for you. This is their 240 grain jacketed hollow point load for the 44 Magnum. And here is your box for that Underwood 240 grain jacketed hollow point 44 mag load. Note that it says 1500 feet per second, and that is no doubt handgun velocities. We will be shooting this from an 18-inch barreled carbine, so I'll be really curious to see how much more velocity we can get out of it. There's not a lot of promo information on Underwood boxes, just some, warning info here. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at this stuff. Looks like we've got nickel-plated cases. That's always a nice touch. Really clean-looking ammo. Let's yank one out and take a look. Huge, absolutely massive, monstrous hollow point there. I can't wait to shoot this stuff. Let's go do it and see how it does. And the test rifle today is my vintage Ruger 9644 carbine, chambered in 44 mag, of course. It's got an 18-inch barrel. And up top, I've got a Leupold Ultralight 2.5x scope. And coming on back, of course, I've got one of my leather cartridge cuffs. Check out my website, masonleather.com. I would absolutely love to make you one. And coming on around to the other side, I've got to show you, I've got my Black Bear design. We'll be taking 3 shots from 50 yards, firing into 10% ballistics gel that has been calibrated to meet the FBI's ballistics testing protocol. And while ballistics gel isn't an exact proxy for big game, it does provide a repeatable medium through which to test various bullets and ammo against each other. After the shots, we'll examine bullet expansion, weight retention, penetration, and velocity. My goal is to provide hunters like you and I with the most objective information possible to help us make the best choice for our particular hunting situation. The ballistics gel in this video has been sourced from Clear Ballistics. You can find a link in the description. So let's go ahead and shoot it. And let's take a look at the velocity for that Underwood ammo 240 grain jacketed hollow point out of the 44 mag. This is the one that is factory rated for 1500 feet per second out of a revolver. Our high 1834, our low 1740, and our average 1794. And we are down at the blocks after shooting that Underwood ammo 240 grain jacketed hollow point out of the 44 Magnum carbine. Let's take a look. We captured 2 bullets. This shoots to quite a different point of aim than what I have my rifle zeroed for. It's substantially higher, so it was tough to capture bullets, but we got 2, and it's a little hard to see it. Well, there we go. Penetration wise, there's one right there. It is right at 20.5 inches, and the other one is right there. They're down towards the bottom of the block, and that one's at 22 inches. And it does look like we got some good mushrooming. And here are those Underwood 240 grain jacketed hollow points recovered from the ballistics gel. These things look great. They expanded really well. Let's talk about the metrics. Weight retention wise, we saw 198 and 209 grains. For an average of 204 grains retained weight, and that works out to 85% weight retention. Expansion-wise, we saw 0.71 inches and 0.8 inches for an average of 0.76 inches expanded diameter. That's 1.8x expansion. That is so far the highest expansion I've seen from a 44 mag load that I've tested out of a rifle. And on to velocity, these things were smoking. Our high velocity was 1834, our low was 1740. For an average of 1794 versus the factory build velocity of 1500 feet per second. Now that is from a revolver, a handgun. So we got 294 feet per second higher out of the 18-inch barrel of my Ruger 9644. And then penetration wise, we saw 20.5 inches and 22 inches, so pretty consistent for an average of about 21.5 inches of penetration. And for kinetic energy, with a 240 grain bullet going on average 1794 feet per second, that works out to 1,715 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. All right, y'all, time for my final thoughts on that Underwood 240 grain jacketed hollow point load from the 44 mag out of a rifle. All in all, I think this stuff did really good across the board. 85% weight retention, not quite as much as some of the other loads I've tested, but it's up there. It's definitely not the worst I've seen. It's not great for 44 mag, I will give you that. This stuff did shed a bit more weight than other 44 mag loads that I've tested, but the bullets are still weighing 204 grains on average. They still got a lot of mass to them. Expansion wise, that's where this bullet blows the competition away. 1.8x expansion. These things really opened up wide, and it was pretty uniform as well. This stuff's gonna punch a big hole through whatever you're shooting at. And then velocity wise, this stuff was screaming. The box spec was 1500 feet per second. No doubt that's from a revolver, a pistol. We saw 1834 feet per second as our high velocity. On average, we were 294 feet per second faster than box spec. This stuff is screaming. And then penetration wise, pretty darn good. 21.5 inches on average, 20.5 and 22 inches respectively. That's past that 20-inch mark I like to see for medium game hunting. All in all, I think this bullet, this load, performed really well for a 44 mag load out of a rifle. If you've got some, if your rifle likes it, I wouldn't hesitate to use it. And check out my website, masonleather.com, and get yourself some leather gear handmade by me just for you. I've been handcrafting leather gear for hunters for over a decade, and I would love to make you something. And there are hundreds of reviews on my website, so you can see what real hunters have to say about their Mason leather gear. And also tons of photos showing all the customizable options, including name, initial, and caliber stamping, as well as wild game designs and more. Everything is handmade by me right here in the USA. I would love to be a part of your hunt through my leather gear. And it helps support this channel, so I can bring you more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests, and lots of other cool stuff in the future. The link will be in the video description and the pinned comment, or you can just type masonleather.com into your web browser, and click one of these cards for more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests.